In the previous video, we have created an air quality alert system and we were facing issues of sending alerts to Telegram when a threshold is reached. Then we have enabled MCP connector with Claude Desktop to read the file system of Node-RED. We have seen how Claude was able to use MCP connector and debug our Node-RED flow and provided the fixes, and then we have manually applied all the fixes in the Node-RED to make the air quality alert system send the notifications to Telegram successfully. In this video, we are going to make Claude do all the bug fixes automatically without any human intervention, which means that it has to find the bugs and then even fix them automatically without us manually entering the changes. So let's get started. So as this is the continuation of previous video, if you haven't seen that, try to watch that video. And you can see now in the Arduino, we have seen the values of air quality sensor are coming here, and we can see the values range of 2632 in this range, and then simply we'll keep the threshold as 50 for the sake of this tutorial. And now let's see how we are able to get in the Node-RED or not. So in the Node-RED, we wantedly have used air quality instead of air underscore quality. So if I try to use air underscore quality and deploy it, now I'll add the debug so that MQTT topic is matched and we can see the debug values to be coming here. Now because I've added the debug here, you can see the debug 1 is giving the values from our whatever we are seeing from the ESP32, the ADC values like 3322. We can see all of them here. And in the function app, we have tried to put a condition like if it is greater than 50, then we need to get a payload of this critical and we need to return that. So if it is not coming, we'll not see debug 12 messages, and then we'll not see the Telegram sender also going to send the values. So now we'll change this MQTT topic, we'll keep as wrong and deploy. So now we can see there is no debug messages as well as no messages being sent to Telegram. So next thing is we'll check the Claude Desktop. So first we'll again verify settings. We go to the developer option and see whether we have this MCP server running or not. So we can see this MCP server is running with this file system, and I have given the Node-RED folder as the path. So because we want to change the flows.json, so we have to provide this whole directory. So we can also verify from here. So under plus on the connector, you can see this is enabled. So next thing is we need to select a model. So previously we have selected Haiku because it can provide basic things such as the fixes in manual way. But because we are going to do it automatically, we will use Sonnet and above, and I'll just use effort as low so that it doesn't take much tokens. So here I have provided the prompt. So we can simply go through this prompt quickly. I explicitly mentioned it to use MCP connector because it gets confused in between whether to use it or whether to search internet, those kind of things. And next is I have given the goal as to fix this because I'm not getting the alerts. That is also mentioned, alerts are not coming, and the topic which we are listening and the threshold value also given, and the issue has been mentioned. What are the requirements is first, because we are going to edit directly the flows.json, we need to have a backup. So that's why I first asked it to create flows_backup.json. So first I'll go back to the Node-RED folder here, and so you can see the backup was already created previously. So I'll delete. So now you can see flows.json is right now 4 KB and there is no backup file as of now. So I'll ask it to first create backup file and then locate exactly this flow. So I can also provide it like what is the flow name. So I can go here and give the name as this. So in the bracket, I'll provide flow name and it will check all the nodes which are related, identify and fix all the issues automatically. This is the keyword that is important. And then another thing that I mentioned is write the corrected back nodes to flows.json, and it is only modifying the affected nodes and it will not touch the other nodes as well as the flows. And right now what I have done is I have tried to make this flows.json very minimal. previously I had this 79 KB which had so many flows, but it was consuming so much of tokens from the AI. I would try to minimize only particular flow in the flows.json. Whatever right now we are working, only this flow is mentioned here, and all the flows are in the backup files, so that we just consume less token and easily fix the issue. So you can also try do that, or else you can simply mention not to read the whole file of flows.json, but it will be difficult for it. So next thing is, you should not ask for manual approval, complete the fixes automatically, and don't need to restart, and then it has to report all these things whatever it has fixed. I'll keep this and this side by side so we can see if there is any file created here, we will understand. So I'll run with Sonnet. So it has found that it is 4 bytes and it can read it fully, so that's why it is pulling full content, and it is able to identify my flow 10, and these are the different 3 issues it has found. So next it is trying to write something in the files. So before that I told it to take a backup, so that's why it has taken the backup, and you can see the timing as well, and it is saying that backup is written, and it is trying to use edit file and try to fix 3 issues. The first is MQTT topic mismatch, second is the threshold is not in the proper Telegram payload object, and fix 3 is that, so debug 1 is directly coming from the MQTT node, that's why that is not needed maybe, so it is trying to remove that. So now it is saying that fixes applied. What are the 3 fixes that we have seen? All those things are applied here. So let's see what it has done. So right now, if you directly refresh this, you will not see anything because we have to restart our Node-RED. So I'll directly go here. I'll restart Node-RED. So once that is done, you can see review changes. So you can simply restart. So it was previously air quality. Now it is air_quality, and debug node was previously here. You can see that has been changed here, and the debug 12 was also placed here, so we can simply remove this. In the function 19, we can see it has put everything in a Telegram specific format, because in Telegram specific format it needs chat ID, type and content as a message.payload, and then it is returning in that format, and in that format when we get, it will be sending to the data here. So I'll simply remove debug and deploy again. So because the values are below 50, we are not seeing any messages in the Node-RED, but if we try to make it above 50, we should see some values. So now immediately you can see the value has come, and even Telegram messages should be sent. And this is how you can use Claude Desktop with MCP connector to simply fix the Node-RED flow automatically. If you found this video informative, please type helpful and smash that like button. If you wanted to learn IoT from scratch, then you can check out my course on Udemy from the link in the end screen and description. Your support means a lot to us and helps us keep creating more content like this. So please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another interesting video.